All right, so our next guest is a self-taught graphic designer specializing in logos, merch design, and branding. She has taken the internet by storm with her redesigns of professional sports clubs' logos. For the clubs that she's done have included the New York Islanders, the Miami Dolphins, the Washington Commanders, the New York Giants, FC Bayern München. Did I say that right?
I don't know.
Freaking soccer. The Tennessee Titans, Brooklyn Nets, Indianapolis Colts, Philadelphia Eagles, Chicago Cubs, Golden State Warriors, who blew a 3-1 lead in the 2016 NBA Finals, I may add. The New York Jets, LA Chargers, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, and the entire AFC North, including the Dawg Pound logo design that led the fan vote for the Cleveland Browns for almost the entire competition. She is up to over 100,000 followers on Instagram and is clearly in high demand when it comes to her skill set. Please help me welcome Emily Morgan. Yeah!
Hello.
Emily, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, just tell us a little bit about yourself. How are things going? And give us some background here.
Yeah, so kind of what you said in the intro, I am a self-taught graphic designer. So when I say that, I went to school for advertising, but I actually took a graphic design class, and that kind of introduced me to the love of designing. So after that, I was like, well, I love this, so I'm just going to learn on the side through YouTube videos and all that. But I was primarily for my real job and stuff, I was in marketing, your basic corporate job, and I hated it a lot. And then
don't we all?
Yeah, right. So this past March, actually, I quit kind of just on a whim because I just really wasn't happy. And then I started posting these, and luckily they gained a lot of traction kind of at the right time for me. And that's how I ended up here. So I've been pretty new to really graphic design as a full-time job, but I've been doing it for a couple years now, mainly on the side, but now it's my full-time job and I'm still learning a lot every day.
So are you a big sports fan, or did sports logos just kind of come naturally to you for some reason?
I've always been a huge sports fan. Actually, when I was younger, I wanted to do sports broadcasting. I wanted to be interviewing, the athletes and all that. But, that comes with a lot of writing. So I did not like that at all. But I definitely wanted to be in sports. I just didn't really know how I would get there, but eventually I kind of found my way. But yeah, growing up, I've always loved sports. I've always been super competitive too, and I just love watching the best athletes ever just do the most amazing things. I think it's so cool to see, and I love it.
Yeah. And obviously we agree. I mean, there's a reason we talk about football all day.
Yeah.
Kudos to you for quitting your 9-to-5 and chasing your dreams.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a hard thing to do.
It really is. And it takes a lot of guts. So that's pretty awesome. What's your, you mentioned these logo redesigns and how they've kind of got some traction and taken off a little bit. How have they changed your outlook or your career trajectory in your eyes?
Yeah, it's weird because it all happened so quick. So I don't even know if I really understood my outcome when I was doing these. Because when I started posting these, they were just for fun and to get better as a graphic designer. But then when people started saying they want this on merch, or we want you to do this team, or when teams would actually comment on my videos, that's when I was oh my gosh, gushing over it. I was loving that. Yeah. But it's changed just everything, every day. It's just every day is different, I think. And I don't know how to explain it, but some days are easier than others. But overall, yeah, it's changed my whole future. And I have no idea what that entails in 5 months either. I do want to start doing YouTube videos too. I think that would be super fun. I just have to get a setup. I'm sure you guys know, you're in the middle of doing that. I want to get a nice little setup because I didn't think at all I would be able to have followers. I was just trying to do freelance, but now it's kind of shifting to more people following me for me and my videos and stuff.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on a really good topic there. So everybody thinks that they can go in and just make videos or do whatever and put it out there and everybody's going to follow you, but you're thinking about it the right way. A proper setup and getting the things that you need in order to be successful are paramount to a venture like that. So
absolutely.
Exactly.
With your redesigns that you've done so far, what's your favorite one you've done to date? Myself, I like the Commanders so far. The Washington Monument incorporated into it was pretty dope. So, but what's your favorite so far?
So it changes a lot. Like my friends ask me all the time, or they'll tell me their favorite and stuff. I see my designs so much, like, so I'll see like so many flaws then, later on. So I'd say right now, the one that's kind of fresh in my head is the New York Islanders one. I liked doing that one. And cause growing up, I loved hockey. Like hockey was my sport growing up. So it was really fun to start kind of dipping into that. I think right now they're my favorite. But like my other ones, I liked my Chicago Cubs one. A lot of people obviously like the Lions one. That was the one that kind of blew up, but like I've seen it so much. I wish I did some things differently. But yeah, I think the Islanders and the Cubs one are my favorite for right now. Might change my mind next week.
Where are you from originally? So what sports teams did you grow up rooting for originally?
So I'm from Illinois, like an hour outside Chicago, north of Chicago. So I'm a big Chicago fan. So I'm more of a Cubs fan too, because that's just who we all rooted for. But growing up, I was like a die-hard Blackhawks fan, because that's when they were super, super good, winning Stanley Cup after Stanley Cup. So I was die hard for them, and now I'm really into football. Like I love football so much. I wish I was watching it more when I was younger. But yeah, I like all the Chicago sports teams, but now I live in Milwaukee because I went to school up here. So I also like the Bucks and I like the Brewers. I mean, they're not my favorite teams, but I enjoy watching them too.
So you like the Bears.
Yes, I do. I really do.
Have the Blackhawks reached out to you? Because I think they need a new logo.
The Cleveland baseball team here had to go through.
We went through all that.
Right. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. So with the Dawg Pound logo redesign, though, kind of walk us through that. How at what point did you decide to enter the competition, or how did you hear about it, and how was it being in the competition?
What was the thought process behind the design?
Oh gosh, it's actually probably not what people expect. So I think the competition, like you had to enter the design in by like the 20th, and I found out about it on the 17th, and I'm like, I gotta try this. But I was leaving for a trip on the 20th, so I had like 2 days to work on it. And now looking back on it, like, and I say this all the time, and I know I said it earlier, I actually really do not like my design anymore. I don't think it's bad, but like I would change so much now looking back on everything. But my thought process behind it was just do some research on the Browns and, see what they like. And it was kind of hard because I know we were in the fan entry, but then after that we were up against the graphic designers they kind of hired. And I'm assuming they had a little bit more than a couple of days, and seeing their logos, It was like awesome. They were so good. And I'm like, I do not want to win this at all. Like these logos are so much better. And I do like the one that did win. I think it's really intimidating looking, but being in it was super, super fun. Just never would have thought this opportunity would have happened. And now I get to go to a Cleveland Browns game in September. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
See, she mentions the one that won, which is the one we got into a debate over the last two, and I picked the one that won and he picked the other one. So out of those last two, was that one your favorite?
I think so. I was switching back and forth because the one that won, it is very different. Like there wasn't a lot of other logos in the entry that looked like that, but like with all the little hidden features in it, I'm like, this is just like so good. There's so much history in that logo. The other one I like too a lot. I think the other one just won me over, with those little Easter eggs. And I kind of like the shading of it. I thought it looked really cool. But I liked both, but a little bit more the one that won.
Kenny's so salty right now.
Either way, though, it has to instill a great level of confidence knowing that you went toe-to-toe with people that have probably been doing this a lot longer than you.
Yeah, and so, I mean unofficially...
have more resources and equipment.
Unofficially, you came in like third, right? Because you basically won the fan vote.
So.
And then they said, well, we're just going to go with the two that we kind of planted in here. Yeah. So that's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. And we're again, congratulations on winning the fan vote. I think that's really awesome. And the fact that you say you only worked on it 2 or 3 days, a little bit of a humble brag there. I like that.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
All right. So was there any point, kind of during this competition that you thought, you know what, I might win this thing?
I don't know necessarily when, because I know I was in the top 10 for kind of the whole thing. There was a time where I was getting like really excited, and when I was able to start seeing the amount of votes I had, that was like really cool. But I was still so nervous because I knew this was just a fan vote. I had no idea what like the Cleveland Browns are going to come out with. And I was expecting like amazing stuff, and they really did come out with cool stuff. So when it was during the fan vote, I was excited, but kind of after that, I was getting nervous. I was like, oh geez, like I'm about to go up to some like, no pun intended, like some big dogs here. Like literally these are going to be some cool logos. But I wasn't trying to be too hard on myself because I naturally, just as a designer, you're so critical of yourself. So I just try to like have fun with it. And it was really fun. It was so fun just seeing like all the Cleveland Browns fans like commenting what they liked about it. And I think if I ever thought I was going to win, it might have lasted for like 2 seconds, because then I was like, oh no, don't get too excited. Like you haven't won yet or anything.
Yep, no, that's actually a really good segue. You mentioned the Browns fans. And so my next question was just what impression did the Browns and the Browns fans have on you? I mean, were they nice to you in the comments? Were the trolls out in force? Like what kind of, what was going on? And do you still think kindly of us after this whole thing? Because the Browns fans can get pretty rowdy.
Honestly, no, I would say majority they were awesome. You're always going to have like trolls. Like there will always just be people that are like just so like you have no filter at all. But no, almost everyone was like super nice, or just even constructive criticism, super helpful too. Like, but no, I had no bad impressions at all, like with the fans, and even the organization, because I was in touch with kind of the guy that ran the competition, and they were really, really nice too, and just super enthusiastic about it all. So no, I think it was a very, very good like experience for both, I think, fans and designers, because I think it was good that they allowed you guys to, have a say. I wish more teams would do that. I think it would be way more fun for the fans. Well,
but judging by what you've said, I mean, if we had a little bit more of a say, you might have won. Yeah. But it sounds like I kind of joked as this whole competition was going on our show, and I said, there's some plants here from the Browns, and it turns out there actually were some plants, and those they kind of already had the final 2 picked. So
when you see some of these, obviously in the last few years we've had the Guardians kind of redo theirs, the Washington Commanders. Like when you see some of these designs that are the final designs, are you kind of like, oh?
Yeah. It's so like hard, because like as a designer, I definitely know like maybe some of their thought processes behind it. But also, it's funny. I was just doing like a Q&A video I filmed like yesterday, and I had a similar questions like about the Commanders, or I think it was the Chargers. Someone else mentioned like, what are your thoughts on these logo designs that didn't get the best response? And it's just like a matter of finding kind of like the simplicity of designing a logo, but also having those like special things that connect with the fans of the team. Like it is like you have to find that perfect mix. So I wish like the Commanders one was something a little bit more fun. And I mean, it's like they're Washington, D.C. I feel like there's so many things you can do with that, like some patriotic stuff, and they, just went with the W.
It's just a block W. So
right. Yeah. And I mean, it's not ugly. It's not an ugly W, but it's just like, it almost looks kind of like corporate-y a little bit. And it's just, I wish they did something a little bit more like intimidating or sharp or something. But yeah, when I see these logo redesigns, obviously everyone has an opinion. So my opinion isn't any better than anyone else's. Just sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. And it's hard.
Not everybody got famous on their logo redesigns. So I think your opinion carries a little bit of weight
the
now.
game.
I guess.
No, so I guess kind of to start wrapping things up here. Is there anything you'd like to say to all the fans you gained in Cleveland throughout this process? I mean, I know you said you researched the team, so is there anything directly to the fans?
Oh, of course, a big think you. I am kind of a Cleveland Browns fan. That's why I have my shirt. I love Nick Chubb. So it was just, he's definitely one of my favorite players. Just thank you to the whole Cleveland Browns fans, anyone that voted for me or anyone that even didn't and just gave me a comment back. I always say I love the feedback from all the fans because you guys always had the best ideas for the teams. Thank you for everything you've done, sharing it or anything like that. It's been so crazy. I don't know how to respond to stuff like that. I just get all giddy inside and then I don't really know what to do. But no, it was an awesome experience and I wish I could do it again. I really do wish I could go back in time and do it all over again. Well,
Kenny gave the logo 3 years, so maybe there'll be another competition.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah, so I guess Kenny, you got one more thing
I got two rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
0 to 10, the Burning River Sportscast logo.
Honestly, I think it's a 10. I think you guys did great on it.
Hell yes. Yes. That's coming from one of the most successful logo designers in America right now.
You heard it here. And then just being that you're from the Illinois, Chicago area, what's your favorite, your go-to pizza in Chicago?
Oh, Lumonati's. For sure, deep dish Lumonati's pizza.
Nice.
I like pizzeria. I think it's Pizzeria Uno. Is that the one?
Everything a big chain.
Something Uno. It's something with one. I don't remember what it was. There's one that I like over there.
Lumonati's is
it's good. I've had it. They brought They brought one of them over and put it in Columbus not too long ago.
Oh, really?
Giordano's.
That's what it was, and it's just not as good in Columbus.
No,
at all.
I bet. Yeah, I feel like that's hard to transition to a different state when it's really Chicago based. Yeah, it's probably hard. I grew up on that stuff.
Awesome. So just as we wrap up, is there a specific place or social media, website, places that fans can find drawings and future works or even get a hold of you if they're interested in collabs or merchandise?
Mm-hmm. So just my social media for both TikTok and Instagram. I think it's just Emily Morgan Creates. Best way to contact me is probably through my email, which is also just emilymorgancreates@gmail.com, or through my website, which is in my links. I'm still figuring out how to organize all that. So I hope everyone that has reached out, please be patient. I'm trying to respond. I wish I had 7 hands so I could just type back to everyone. So I'd say those are the places you could find me, and feel free to comment or not follow me or follow me, whatever you want to do.
Well, we'll make sure we get all the links in the launch of the video.
You'll definitely, I think I already did follow you on our socials, but if I didn't, it's coming. So, well, Emily, it's been awesome having you. We really appreciate your time. We know you're a busy lady after you've blown up like this. So, again, thank you. Good luck to the rest of, everything else that you're doing here. I'm sure there's more logo redesigns to come, and we can't wait to see what those look like.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks.
What a nice young lady. She's just out there doing big things.
Just doing it big.
Yeah, so that is great having Emily Morgan. And she did give our logo a 10 out of 10.